Hey, yo, Choice here. Thank you so much for joining me again for another session of Choice Spirit. Here I want to speak about something I saw where there's some backlash for Netflix showing their white Jesus. There's no surprise. Netflix is a marketing tool. Netflix is a marketing tool that uses a lot of subliminal messages and symbols to market ideas and agendas. And once you see it, many of the movies, I remember there was a number of things. I haven't been to the movies in a while, and I haven't watched a movie in a long while. And I decided one day that I would sit and catch a good movie on Netflix. When your eyes are a little more open, you see things. First of all, I realize a lot of the movies have a lot of violence. A lot of violence. The other thing I realize is that most of the movies, so I didn't want to look, okay, let me say it like this. I wanted something that would be funny. I usually catch my comedians and whatnot, but I wanted something else, a funny movie, give me a good laugh. And so the movies that I selected, 2 in a row, they advertised roast pork, roasting pig, everyone wanting that pork. They've advertised drinking wine, going into this wine business and getting plenty of wine. That was back to back. Those were the 2 movies that I chose to watch. And both had the same subliminal messages. So there's a lot of programming going on in all places. But when you see it, so I'm just saying there's no surprise. Even when I come up here and I look for information, I can only find it with, I have to really look deep to find some brothers and sisters. If you just tune in, that's not the first that you see on the suggestions. And if you pull up anything about religion or history or whatever, is always told with a different, from their point of view, with their images and their likeness. You have to really hunt. And it looks like looks like more and more is being sent off somewhere. It's also known that somehow this algorithm, or however it's set up, has a way of clipping out the darker faces. Perhaps. I don't know. I think they resolved that issue because there was an issue about that where they had an advertisement done and the people of color were left out of the images, were left out of the pictures. See, they do that on purpose because they want to market to certain countries. And certain countries have very low tolerance for people of color. They don't want to see that. So that's why even in the movies, they put the brothers and sisters in the shot where they can be cropped out easily. Or they just take different types of shots, and for different marketing campaigns, They use different images. Because what has happened is they managed to go throughout the world, and colorism is a thing. Caste is a thing, you know. I don't know how India feels about someone that's in that caste system now being the vice president of the United States. You know, those are supposed to be the people that, the untouchables. You don't touch that color. And the darker you get, the darker you are. Like if I stand here in this sun, every moment, every second, I'm getting my tan. Not tan, but you know. It's all good. But there's an actual caste system, colorism issue, or whatever label they want to give it, all over, in most places. And that is none other than others coming in to someone else's country and pushing propaganda that eventually gets them to not even love the color of their skin, or the skin of their forefathers, or their great-great-great-great-grandparents. They would hide that. So, it's not just people in Africa using stuff to bleach their skin. It's worldwide. People are bleaching their skin. Got bleaching skin creams everywhere. They were taught to hate themselves, their own complexion. So I'm saying this, I said all that to say that Netflix is a marketing tool, as is many of these things. A propaganda tool, allegedly, supposedly. A place where you can go and be indoctrinated. That's why they have these long series, so they can keep playing the different, letting the symbols just run over and over and over. And every week and every day that you tune into that series is being planted, seeds are being planted. But once you can see it, like when I tuned into those movies, I said, wow. I guess they want black people to go out there and buy more pork, because that was the joke. You know, a spare rib joint. And then the other one is, I think a Jewish family and a black family come together and they're roasting pig. The son and daughter coming together to get married and they're roasting pork for the black people. And the Jewish people are sitting there, you know, that was part of the joke. It may have had some watermelon in there too. So not only do you have a mixed race thing, which I can't help to think is a mixed breeding, so they can lighten. Almost like what you deal with when you talk about Haiti and the other side. There's one where they brought in a whole bunch of others to kind of like, they didn't want a whole nother dark melanated, they wanted to lighten that part. So now they lighten it, they have it separate. Haiti's over here, proud. And then the other ones over there dealing with colorism and everything else. So there's agendas. And once you see it clearly, there's no surprise. You see Netflix for what it is. You see many of these programs for what they are, many of these platforms and channels for what they are. They're subliminal marketing campaign for the latest agenda, allegedly. Choice here, thank you so much for joining me again for another session of Choice Spirit. Hey, wake up, wake up, wake up. Get your mind back, get your mind back, get your mind back. And when you think you have it, think again. Much love, thank you. Choice here. Namaste.